Playtime, and so today I'm going to show you how to make a button bowl. It's pretty cool, pretty sleek, and an awesome present to give to someone straight from the heart. So come with me and let's figure out how to make this awesome bowl.
So what we need for our activity today is some buttons. I've got some big, medium, and small. We also need a balloon, and I've chosen like a small to medium balloon because I'm going to use the bottom for my shape of my bowl. I also need a bowl so then our balloon can sit inside it. We need a paintbrush, some glue, and some Mod Podge. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is apply our glue to our balloon, and we want to stick our buttons onto the balloon. Now just be careful because they may start to slide off, so just keep your eye on it. But once the glue dries, they'll be stuck on there and we're on our way to go. So let's get sticking. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there to begin with, just to where I'm going to be working. And using your brush, we're just going to start like just moving the glue around the balloon. And then what we want to do is just apply our buttons on the bottom of the balloon, and basically I'm just doing the big ones first because they're the ones that are going on the bottom of my bowl. And I'm just randomly choosing colours. And then once you've done the middle bit, we're just going to add more glue and work our way around. And I'm going to go down a size, and I'm going to choose my small buttons, well, medium buttons. So once you've done your first few lines, I'm just going to add a little bit more glue just in between, just to make sure that they do stick, and that we're not going to have them just slide off once I pop the balloon. Put all the buttons on the base of my balloon, I've basically got to wait for the glue to dry. So I've used PVA glue that's going to dry clear. Make sure you use glue that's going to dry clear too, because you don't want to see white glue in between all your colourful buttons. So let's wait for all the glue to dry. Now that the glue has dried on our balloon, it's now time to put our Mod Podge on. Now the Mod Podge is just basically a sealer glue, and it's gives it a nice shine finish. So we're just going to put a few coats of that on, and I'm just going to start off very slow because I don't want to put too much on, otherwise it might take too long to dry. So let's get started. So just be very careful with the Mod Podge. You can get it from an art supplies store. That's where I got mine. I got mine from Riot Craft in Australia. So what this will do is this will become what our bowl is. This is going to harden, and it's going to make sure that everything's stuck together. But it's very runny, so if you pour it straight on, it might just go all over the bench. Just make sure that you have a well-ventilated area somewhere where the windows are open, or maybe do it outside, or wear a mask because it is very strong. Like the smell is really strong, like it actually really stinks. Or ask your parents or whoever's there that might be able to set up a spot for you. You can always ask them as well. But I'm sure you know where the right spot is to do it all. And yeah, just make sure that it's, you know, a nice ventilated area, because this stuff stinks. So that's my first layer done, and now we have to wait for this one to dry. You can use a hairdryer if you'd like, just don't put it on hot because it will pop your balloon and you don't want your balloon popped just yet. So if you do, put it on cold setting. Otherwise we can just leave it until it's dry and then come back and put our next coat on. So I'm gonna leave it and wait for it to dry. Finally, the glue has dried. And it hasn't even dried 100% yet because it's still a little bit squishy, but it's not sticky, and that's what they mean by dry. So what I'm gonna do, that was my first coat, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 4 more coats to my buttons, and then and in between I'm going to dry it lightly with the hairdryer, just lightly, so then the stickiness goes. And then once I've done my 5 coats all together, I'm then going to leave it overnight and let it dry naturally, so then that way it can really harden. We don't want to take the balloon off until it's 100% dry because it's going to ruin our whole bowl effect and it will just collapse. So let's do our next application of our Mod Podge. And just so you know, Mod Podge just asks you to leave it for 15 to 20 minutes to dry without the hairdryer. They don't mention a hairdryer. So just make sure the tackiness is off, and yeah, that's when you'll be able to do your next coat. And my lucky last coat. So just remember, this Mod Podge does dry clear. It looks white at the moment because it's not 100% dry, but it's just not sticky. So I'm able to put my coats on when it's not sticky, but you've got to leave it, 24 hours or so to dry completely, and then that way it will go clear. That was my last application of Mod Podge on my balloon. Now I'm going to put it aside and leave it for 24 hours to let it dry, and hopefully it will dry clear as the bottle does say, and see how we go. But it's looking good so far. It's looking thick, but it's just looking very white, but that should all disappear in 24 hours. So we just have to wait and see. Good night.
Button bowl worked out quite well. It does move a little bit, which is kind of weird, so you can kind of mold it. I don't know if I did it right, to be honest. I could have stuffed it up a little bit. I think I put too many layers on too quickly. It actually took 2 weeks for this to set. So I overall thought it was awesome anyway, and I can still use it. I can mold it and keep putting it into like different positions if I want to, so I really don't think I stuffed it up too much. But if you're gonna do this at home, definitely wait for each layer to dry completely, because mine took 2 weeks to dry all of the layers at once. So you can use it for beautiful jewelry to go in there. So you can make it for mum for Mother's Day, or your mum for Christmas or their birthday, or you can just make it for yourself for fun. Or you can put lots of chocolate in there and just keep the button bowl for yourself, or give it to that special friend of yours, and they can have lots and lots of chocolate. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely heading towards the chocolate bowl. I love chocolate. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. Bye.